Have you ever been fired from a job?
I don't think so.
No?
Get out.
I really don't, but I had very safe jobs.
Okay.
You know, I was a school teacher.
Right.
Nobody's gonna fire me. I went from being a school teacher and came to Hollywood.
Yeah.
In between, I was a mother. Nobody fired me from that.
No.
No, I've never been fired. Never thought about it.
And then you worked for yourself for a long time.
Yeah.
All right. And can you tell me what your worst job was?
My worst job was probably as a teacher.
As a teacher?
Yeah, as a teacher, when I was forced to make my kids do things like stand in line, and I had to go along with the status quo.
Yeah.
And I wanted my kids in my class to be a little freer.
Mm-hmm.
So I lobbied for it because it was so bad for me, and they actually let me take one class from first grade through fourth grade. They stayed with me the whole time.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
They must have loved you.
Yeah, and I knew them and they knew me,
Mm-hmm.
and I've checked on them, and they did better than most of the kids. It's rough to have to adjust to a new teacher every year. People should understand that with kids.
Yeah. I love that. Well, I am Laura Cathcart Robbins. This is the only one in the room. But I'm never the only one in this room because, as usual, my boyfriend, producer, and co-host, Scott Slaughter, who I call Hun, is here as well.
Hi, honey.
Hi, honey.
Hi, honey.
Hi.
So, in preparation for today's guests, I asked the Roomies. The Roomies are our Facebook fan group. I asked them about aging and what their thoughts were, if they had any tips or questions, and or fears.
Yeah, they really jumped all over that, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
They started responding really quickly. So I think it's a really valid subject.
Yeah, we struck a nerve. Both
Yeah.
men and women had a lot to say. One of the Roomies, Roberta Verlarde, says she prefers the word maturing instead of aging.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm with that. Thank you, Roberta. Shout out to you. You're such a great lady and a longtime fan of the show.
So here's a little bit of what Roberta had to say about quote-unquote maturing. She says, the sex is better, even mind-blowing at 67. Loving independence, willingness to try more, getting out of my comfort zone, loving the ability to speak my truth. I'm like, you better go on with your bad self, Roberta. Thank you for giving us all that beautiful realness. So shout out to you.
And shout out to all the roomies who post in our group. We really want to thank you. Let you know that we read everything and make sure we get all your suggestions and take them to heart.
Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Facebook group, first of all your comments make us so happy, but they also influence who we bring on the show and what questions we ask. So please keep them coming. All right, so now I'm going to introduce today's guest. Dolores Robinson is known as a deal maker. She's an executive producer, a reality TV star, and talent manager who's had a hand in the careers of such notables as Martin Sheen, Mark Wahlberg, Pierce Brosnan, Howie Mandel, Emilio Estevez, Michael Clark Duncan, and many, many others. You might know her from the hit reality TV shows Meet the Pete's, or For Pete's Sakes, where she starred with her daughter and season 2 guest Holly Robinson Peete. Welcome, Dolores.
Yeah, welcome, Dolores.
Is there anything you wanted me to add to that intro?
No,
No.
it kind of says it all.
Okay, good.
It's a lot.
Good. So can you please finish the sentence for me? I am the only one in the room who...
I'm the only one in the room who's looking forward to turning 84, then 85,
And then
86.
And then for me, you're the role model of the only person in the room living their best life in their 80s.
83 and a half, thank you.
83 and a half, yes. So thank you for coming out from Palm Springs, for being here with us today. We really appreciate it. You're 83 and a half years young.
And a half means if you ask a 5-year-old kid
Yeah,
how old it is, the kid will always say 5 and a half,
right.
because that kid can't wait to be 6.
Yes.
I'm 83 and a half because I can't wait to be 84.
Wow.
I just want to keep on living.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I can do this, and as long as I can do this happily and healthily,
Yeah.
I'm in for this living thing.
That's awesome. Do you remember the first time you and I met?
I do. Sort of. I'm seeing you.
Uh-huh. We were at a restaurant
Yeah.
in a hotel.
Which hotel?
I don't remember. We were all there for like an event or something, and Brian and I were downstairs in the restaurant, and you and Holly were coming in, and he said, "Oh wow, there's Dolores and Holly. Are you ready to meet them?" And I was like, "No, not."
I wasn't ready to meet you either. I
Yeah.
was too jealous of you.
But I was telling Holly, because when Holly was on the show, we talked about this. You were so nice to me. I felt like I was meeting the second half of Brian's family.
I just remember, what I remember about you and always remember about you is how really nice you are. There's a connection between you and me in that I think we look at life sort of in the same way.
Optimistically?
Yeah, seriously, but not too seriously.
Yeah.
And generally optimistically.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And we just talked downstairs about how we share an attribute, I guess. It could be a defect, depending on how you look at it, of not being as easily affected by some things as
I'm
other
pretty
people
pragmatic about most
Yeah.
things. I told you that, my grandson, Robinson, who's 16, he says, Grandmommy don't waste tears. Grandmommy is cold-blooded. And what he means is I just don't go to tears as quickly. I feel deeply, but I don't need to cry about something.
Yeah. And I want to get into that as we go further down the line, because there's some things about that might be cause for tears in your life that you didn't cry about. So we're going to get to that. But I wanted to start with, because you told me something that actually shocked me that I didn't know about you, which was how you grew up in a home with no running water. Is that correct?
It wasn't even exactly a home. It used to be an old skating rink that was cut in half and made into a home.
What?
And there was no electricity in there when we first moved in it, and there was no running water. There was a pump in the backyard.
And this was in Pennsylvania?
In Penland, Pennsylvania, in
Okay.
Montgomery County, outside of Philadelphia.
And what year was this? Or what
Oh,
years around?
I was born in 1936.
Okay.
And I lived up the street in what we call the big house.
Uh-huh.
And somebody bought that house. My mother was kind of renting it, and then there was no place to go, and we had to stay in that town. That was the only place to go.
Mm.
So that's where we lived, and there was an outhouse down the yard, and it was Pennsylvania, and it was snowing, and even deeper into the story. Oh my God, I'm thinking it now. I had two brothers,
Yeah.
and we all slept together, and my brothers peed to bed.
Oh, that's cold.
That's cold.
Yeah.
And then you got to get up and you got to go to school the next day smelling like pee.
Oh my goodness.
It was not easy. And for a while there, when I first made my first $1.98,
It's $1.98.
that signifies that I got rich.
Okay.
When I made my first $1.98,
Uh-huh.
the first thing I did for a comfort was I had my sheets changed every day.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see that's the luxury that you needed.
That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that thing with Viva paper towels. It's a long story, but no matter how broke I was, I would buy Viva because they're like the best to me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you went to college. You were saying you and your roommates integrated this college.
Oh, we integrated the college. So the four of us were the four black girls living in the freshman dormitory. And so I didn't know. I mean, I'd never lived with white people before. And I just found that most white girls were obsessed with their hair.
Right.
And it was always my hair. And they certainly didn't understand our hair.
Right. What did your hair look like then? Was it long or short or?
It shoulder. It never really grew past shoulder length.
Uh-huh.
You know, it was that hair that kind
Yeah.
of grew there and stopped.
Like mine.
My hair is very much like your hair, but I didn't wear it like that because you didn't.
Right.
You straightened it.
Straightened it, yeah.
Yeah, and because nobody was wearing any kinky hair.
Mm.
And I used to pretend I was white,
Mm-hmm.
which means go in the shower, pretend I was washing my hair and wrap a towel around my head and come out, you know,
But it'd be bone dry.
bone dry, not a drop of water on this hair,
Yeah.
nothing. Because you didn't want your hair to kink up. You spent
Right.
your whole young life fighting the kink.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's another only one moment, right? So
Yeah.
You're the only one who feels like this, so you want to assimilate.
I have a whole lot of only ones.
Yeah, you do. You
Yeah.
do. And then, so 50 years later,
50 years later, after integrating that college, I went back and gave the commencement address.
isn't that amazing?
Amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's incredible.
Incredible. I was so I was flabbergasted, and it's because I made friends with the president of the college. You know, I was never intimidated by anybody's position. So I will talk to the lampshade.
Yeah.
And so there I was. They invited me to come back to the college, and I went back and I met the president.
Mm.
And before, you didn't talk to the president. He was like on a throne.
Yeah.
And once a year, you walked in the room and walked around the table and you looked at him and nodded. But this lady and I just hit it. And to the point where I had an open house at my house in Beverly Hills, and all the people that went to my college that lived in the area came.
How wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really kind of full circle. And I stood there and gave that a commencement address. I can't believe I did that.
Mm.
And I really kind of made it up on the spot. And the message was, the whole message all the way through was, it's on you.
Ah.
Yeah, you're graduated now. You're beyond 18.
It's on
Can't
you.
blame your parents for anything.
Right.
Take the responsibility for your life now.
I love that. Well, I feel like that's your theme too.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's very on brand for you.
Yeah, you live your life. Do your
Mhm.
life. Don't expect anybody else to do it for you.
Yeah. So, speaking of living your life, I know that you were a teacher there, but I also know that there was a certain point after. Were you still married to Matt Robinson, Holly and Matt's father, when you packed up the car and moved out here, or were you guys divorced then?
He had left me.
He had left you.
Yes.
Okay.
But when I was a teacher, on that integration point, I want to bring in that I taught school in Levittown, Pennsylvania.
Uh-huh.
After the black family moved into Levittown, Pennsylvania
Oh.
in the 50s,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody thought all the segregation was in the South,
Yeah.
and this black family had the nerve to move into Levittown, Pennsylvania. They made life rough for them.
Scott and I just read something about that because they made a movie about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they drove these poor people crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, they put crosses in their yards and blah da 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 da.
Yeah.
So in the middle of all that, the school district decided that
Bring you in.
they needed to bring somebody into school. They needed to have the perfect person for integration.
And it was you?
That would be me.
Wow.
So I went out there and taught in Lily White, Levittown.
Wow. That's amazing.
I'm telling you, don't ask me why and how, but these things just kind of fall in my way and I go for it.
Yeah.
Uh,
So just really quickly about Matt Robinson, who was Gordon on Sesame Street. That's how most people knew him.
Mm-hmm.
But he was also a really prolific writer and director and that kind of stuff. But you two were married before he was Gordon, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
We were married when he was working. Well, he hadn't really started working yet as a writer, but he eventually went to the CBS station in Philadelphia, and he was a writer there until the night that Martin Luther King died. And the night that Martin Luther King died,
This is his birthday
Yeah.
today. That we're recording this on Martin Luther King's birthday.
is this? What's the date of
Yeah.
today? Really?
The 18th, yeah. We'd celebrated on the Monday afterwards, but today's his birthday.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So he was walking out the door to come home because by the time we were living in a white neighborhood, and we had moved into this neighborhood. We were the only black family on the block, and they had killed Martin Luther King, so I was, surely they wouldn't worry about killing me.
Right.
So I had the shades all drawn, and
How scary.
really scary.
Yeah.
And my kids down low, lights out, scared to death, and calling him, telling him, please come home. So he's trying to come home. He walks out the back door of the studio. I just remember seeing this vision. And they stopped him. They had to have somebody go on the air to talk about the death of Martin Luther King. And they had nobody else black to do it. So here was Matt Robinson, a writer for them. So he sat down and he wrote this incredible thing and went on the air for the first time,
Wow.
which led to him as an on-air person.
Right. And then on and on.
Yeah, he did a show in he was really a one and only. He was the first guy in the room. He did a show called Black Book, and was sort of like a talk show, like Johnny Carson talk show, all black.
Oh.
And he had Jim Vance, who was he became a newscaster in Washington D.C. as his Ed McMahon, and he was Johnny Carson. It was amazing.
Wow, I didn't know about that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
He broke some ceilings.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
He did. Okay, so I don't want to spend too much time on him, though, because I want to talk about you. So,
can I say
yeah.
one thing about him?
Please.
We had and I think it's sort of a lesson. We had a terrible marriage, and I could not figure out why he was so mean to me. And it was only later that I actually went to him and said to him, I know what the problem is. He was in the hospital, and they said it was the beginning of Parkinson's, and they didn't know what it was. So they said, make amends with everybody. So he calls me up. I go to the hospital, and it turns out that we're having this conversation where he's apologizing for being mean. I said, no, honey bun, I figured it out. This guy had dreams. And his dream was be this creative guy, this writer, and he ran into me. I had dreams. A house with a little white picket fence and 2 kids running around the yard. Nowhere near his dreams. I was stronger. I had the stronger will. And basically, I can say now, I made him marry me because my will was stronger.
Wow.
And then turn around and couldn't figure out why he was angry, why he was mean, why he wasn't mean. He was just angry because
Resentful.
he was resentful for because.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's something. I think it was then that I really started learning to take responsibility for myself and my own actions.
It's on you.
Yeah.
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 Not the marriage, but the theme of your commencement.
Yeah,
It's on you.
I said, and I told him, the bottom line is, you're taking the responsibility for this bad marriage that we had. I'll take 50%. You didn't have me locked in. I wasn't chained. Must have been getting something out of it.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so I think it was that point in my life where I started really, really seeing myself. I'm seeing the honest person.
Okay. So you packed up Matt and Holly, and you drove to Los Angeles, to Malibu.
To Malibu.
To stay in
Cleavon Little's house.
Cleavon Little's house, right? So Holly talked about that when she was our guest, and then what? Then you worked for a talent agency. Is that?
I was on the beach living in Cleavon's house, and his agent came out to a beach one day, and she said to Cleavon, that girl, it would be good. She's a showbiz girl. And up to then, I did things in Philadelphia, though. I was on camera in Philadelphia. I created a kids show.
Yes.
And, and I was a public relations director at a. I did some things, but I hid them from my husband. He was in New York. I was home, faking like I was home. And he came, and meantime I'm in the television studio all week long because he didn't come home till weekends.
You're like having an affair.
I was having an affair with my life.
With with your actual life.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
And when he found out about it, I mean, because men in those days, if your wife was working, it meant that you weren't doing well. So he did not want a wife that worked, so he forced me to quit all those things.
Mm-hmm.
But he got this job offer to go to New York to do this show, to produce this show called Sesame Street.
Right.
And we decided that I would not move, that I would stay at the house in Philadelphia. He came home on weekends, which I think is why the marriage lasted for a couple more years.
Right, because you didn't see him very often.
Well, yeah. That absence, making the heart grow fonder, absence just kept this marriage together.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
because he had a chance to be free and do a part of his, that's a creative part of him.
Yeah.
And then he could come home on weekends. He loved his children. He loved me too, you know. He just didn't want to be married.
Yeah. Not only ever, but when I first met you, I knew you as a talent manager.
Mm-hmm.
That's when and a pretty big one. Like you were a major player.
I was the stuff.
Yes, you were.
I didn't know it.
You didn't know it?
No, a couple of years ago, the Conference of Personal Managers flew me to Las Vegas and inducted me into the conference.
Oh, wow.
They did their homework,
Yeah.
and they announced to me that I actually was the first black female manager in history of show business.
What?
Uh-huh. There was nobody before me as a manager.
That's insane.
Yeah, there were agents, but there was no manager.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know it.
Wow, that's huge. So you're part of history.
Yeah.
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 I'm sure for many things, but like legitimately.
But
for that.
legitimately,
Yeah.
and my thrill was, Brian Epstein was in this group, the Beatles manager and me in the same club.
Oh, good. I was just about to ask you who he was. So thank you. Brian Epstein and you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bernie Brillstein, all the big time managers,
Mm-hmm.
and me,
Wow.
which was really great. And they gave us this blazer to wear, and you could tell that they never expected women because they had this really ugly polyester blazer.
Oh
with-
no, not polyester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just ugly.
Not flattering.
No,
No.
it was never. This award was never meant to go to a woman.
Oh, well, see, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You gotta send me a picture of that.
Oh, I will.
Okay.
Yeah. cabarets where people would come in with books and politicians and Norman was just, I was the black person he knew.
Yeah.
That he used to always invite me to all those places. I met more people. I met Barack Obama because Norman Lear invited me to his house.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that actually segues me nicely into the next thing I wanted to ask you about, which was politics.
Oh boy.
Well, you're very active politically, and
I'm obsessed.
you're obsessed. That's a good word. You said something to me, and I think I might have written it down wrong, but you were talking about John F. Kennedy being the first president you laid eyes on, or
Yeah, John F. Kennedy was the first. He's the guy that got me in. I was so, I don't know, impressed with who he was. I don't know why, but I had this
I know
outfit
why.
on.
Yeah.
I had, because he was cute too.
Yeah.
I had this red long coat on. I had this straw hat. It had Kennedy Johnson on it, and
His running mate.
mhm.
Yes.
And I'm standing on the corner of 63rd and Haverford, and the motorcade goes by, and he's sitting up on the back
Mm.
of the motorcade because nobody had discovered that
Right.
people got killed that way.
Yeah.
And he looks over and he waves. I'm waving like crazy, and he sees me and he waves back to me. And I knew he waved to me.
Yeah.
The people all around me
They
said
thought
he
they
waved.
Yeah. He waved to you.
I said, no, me. He waved to me. And I waved again, and he pointed to me
What?
and waved. I said, see that?
Wow.
He waved. It was me.
Wow.
And that was my first presidential connection.
Yeah. So
It-
tell me about the ones that followed.
Well, let's see. Bill Clinton called me Mama.
He did.
Oh yeah, I had a wonderful relationship with him. He invited me, Holly, to his library opening in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Wow.
We were his guests.
Mm.
Let's see.
Ronald Reagan.
Oh, he used to call my office.
Mm-hmm.
Ronald Reagan called my office maybe once a month.
Yeah.
I represented his daughter.
Yes. So what were
Uh,
those conversations like? Did you talk to him?
yeah.
Yeah.
I never ever called him President Reagan. I
What'd you
so
call him?
resented. I liked him as a man, but I so resented him as president. And Mr. Reagan.
Mr. Reagan.
Yeah, the people in my office would answer the phone. They say something like, "There's somebody on the phone said they're calling from the White House." I said, "It is, don't."
Like, that is not a prank call.
Yeah.
Put that through.
And I told you, I was up at the ranch in San Ysidro.
Yes.
And another experience, and there were I have this photograph somewhere of this sea of white faces with silver and gray and purple hair, and a little brown peanut faced me in the middle of the picture. Yeah, the only one, of course.
Of course.
They didn't even have any black friends.
No.
So they didn't even fake it then. And then and Jimmy Carter's grandson used to work for me. He was my assistant in the office. Barack Obama, that's easy.
That's easy.
That was so easy.
Yeah.
I raised money for that boy to go to the Senate.
Yeah, you raised a lot of money.
A
for
lot
him.
of money.
Yes.
Yeah.
You were really, that's the first time for me that you came on my political radar.
Oh yeah.
When you were raising money for him.
I was obsessed.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
But as a payback, I could never understand. I told you that I could never understand why, whenever Michelle Obama or Barack Obama would see somebody,
Yeah.
they would, or that knew me,
Yeah.
like Holly or somebody,
Yeah.
say hello to Dolores. Always Dolores. Always said my name. If I was on a rope line and he was on the other side, hey Dolores.
Yes.
Why does this man? I got a big mouth. I know all that. But he knows 40,000 me's by this time.
Yes. Yes, because there were a lot of people fundraising for him, a lot of people
Exactly.
in Hollywood. Yeah.
I found out in 2009, Michelle Obama held a Bible. He put his hand on it and swore, beat up old tattered black Bible. He put his hand on it and swore he'd be the best president of the United States or president of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Engraved, embossed in gold across the bottom of that Bible, it said Dolores Robinson.
Because he loves you?
No, I'm not very religious, so I didn't, I
Right,
wasn't
right,
loaded
right.
with Bibles.
Yeah.
Michelle Obama's grandmother's name is Dolores Robinson.
Yes, it is.
Oh.
That's amazing.
He swore in as president on the Bible with my name. Come
Yes.
on, y'all.
He's never going to forget your name.
Now, how are you going to forget my name?
No.
You can't even begin to think it's you.
That's incredible.
That's really, I love that.
I love that too. How did you find out that was Michelle's mother's name?
On some television show.
Okay, so you were like, click.
Boom.
Yeah, there it
That was
goes.
it, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense now.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite president?
Oh, please.
Gotta ask.
My son, when the first time I met him, he looked at me, I looked at him, I said, "Who are you?" And he said, "Who are you?" And we agreed that he should be my son. After he said, I said, "You look like me."
You're talking about Barack?
Yeah.
Okay.
You could be my son. You look
Yeah.
like. He said, "I'm probably too old to be your son because I'm so young."
Yes. Yes, you are.
and so and I said, "How old are you?" He said, 40.
Mm,
I said, "My son is 41. He said, "That's it."
that's it.
He named me as his California mother. And of course, I know there's a Minnesota mother, Georgia mother, Florida mother.
Mm,
But they weren't standing at his footsteps in Grant Park,
right, right.
where I was.
Yeah.
I woke up the next morning after that Grant Park experience and picked up USA Today, and there I was on page 6,
What?
doing the ugly cry.
Oh.
It was like, because I was right there. I was
Yeah.
right on the front row,
Yeah.
right at his feet.
Oh,
And
what a moment.
I
Again, you're significant in history.
once again,
Once
here,
again. Yeah.
I just show up.
Yeah.
I don't. Why did I put myself on a plane and fly to Chicago?
Mm-hmm.
Because I had to be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had to be there, and I did.
We'll talk about our current president if we have time.
Okay.
We won't talk about
We
him
can
yet.
we could do him in one sentence.
Tell me.
I can't stand him.
Yeah.
No, they all talk about how we hate Donald Trump. I don't hate Donald Trump. I feel sorry for the country. I've met Donald Trump.
Yes.
My daughter did Celebrity Apprentice. I was charged with being Donald Trump's escort one night at one of Holly's events. And I had to sit with him for 2 hours and introduce him to people. I just found an empty vessel.
Mm.
I don't. There was nothing in him. I just felt nothing, and I think he's the worst president in the history of presidents. I think that it'll take a while to undo the damage that he's done to the country.
That was really succinct. Thank you for that.
'Cause
Yeah.
I could go on. For
I know. I know. Okay, so I wanted to talk about health a little bit. When I ran into you 10 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
we were voting. No, this is 12 years ago. We were voting for Barack Obama. It was 2008. We were at our polling place. I didn't know that your polling place was my polling place, so that was a nice surprise. You bounded across the parking lot toward me. You gave me a huge squeeze.
I remember.
Yes, and then you revealed to me that you had breast cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. It was. I think it's so important to say that I have these teeny tiny tits, and there I was with soapy fingers in the shower, and I felt here, and there was a little funny feeling there, and then I felt over there and it wasn't there, and I went to the doctor.
Yeah.
Doctor couldn't find it. Mammogram couldn't find it. The ultrasound found it.
Yeah.
Because I have dense breasts, and a lot of women do.
Yeah.
So, anyway, because I found it so early, it was stage 0 to 1.
Amazing. Amazing. Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just think that people need to pay attention to their bodies.
Yeah.
Don't obsess over it, but pay attention.
And you're in full remission.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was like 12 years ago.
Yeah. It
more.
was 12 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
You said you don't ever take any drugs at all. No pills of any kind.
I haven't taken an aspirin maybe in 5 years.
Wow.
I don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust the drug companies nor doctors. because I know that doctors make money every time they prescribe a drug. I know that every time a person turns 50, they start on the cholesterol, they start on the high blood pressure pills. Eat it down. For 44 of my almost 84 years now, I was a vegetarian. I ate well. I don't now. I call myself a bacatarian. I suffered too long. I'm a
You like bacon?
vegetarian who eats bacon. But no, I eat everything now within
Right,
reason.
right.
But I eat when I cook for myself every day, and I eat organic foods. I went on the keto diet and lost my stomach.
But you have a flat stomach.
Oh, child, I am so cute.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even. I'm so disgusting. I have to hold myself down when I'm around older people because
You
I'm.
hold yourself
I do because I look at them and I know they're older than me and
Yeah.
young, and I look at 60-year-old women
Yeah.
who are out of shape and not healthy looking, and there I am, flat stomach, waistline, and a booty
looking
banging.
cute.
You know,
Right?
and healthy.
Yes.
Come
You said
on.
a booty banging. I am scared of you, Miss
I heard
Dolores.
that. I looked up like, what?
I don't understand why it doesn't drop.
Right.
You know, at my age, it should have dropped by now.
Oh, please don't let it.
It's not going to.
No.
No, it's not going to.
It is what it is.
I know you have a heart out, so I want to make sure that I get to this really quickly before we go. Since you're so cute and all, we talked a little bit about romance. You said you've been on a couple of dates, right?
Well, fake dates.
Fake dates. Oh, that's right. One was,
I went on a date for the television show. I knew that I knew him ahead of time. We
This
faked
is for
it.
Meet the Pete's? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
We faked it, and I'm not so much. I'm too damn independent. First of all, I used to say this. I hope I can get it right. I am too black for most white men.
Uh-huh.
I'm too white for most black men.
Uh-huh.
I'm too I'm too much me. I'm too motivated. I was too successful when I was in business for most men because, men like to be needed. I just never really needed anybody. I would be nice to want you, but not need you.
Yeah.
And I think that all those twos, those TOOs, never really added up to TWO.
Wait, what does that mean?
I was
Too
much.
many, right, too
I
many,
was
yeah.
two, but those twos
Right,
never
didn't
added
make
up to
The numeral 2.
a numeral 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I look back on photographs of me. I was really cute.
Yeah.
I
You're still
didn't.
cute.
I had not a clue.
You didn't know how cute you were?
No.
No.
Never. I mean,
You were a catch.
I was never really a catch. Nobody's ever been lined up at my door trying to get to me.
Oh, they should have been.
Well, I was two.
Yeah, you
I
were
was
too
too much.
Yeah.
I was too much.
Mm-hmm.
And rather than tame myself down,
Yeah.
I stayed me. So now, I have like all these husbands I told you about.
The gay husbands.
Gay husbands,
Yes,
because I live
call
in
them
Palm
gusbands
Springs.
with a G.
And so
Yeah.
as long as I have these, these husbands, I really don't have any need for a husband. I haven't ever met a heterosexual man that said to me, "Okay, Miss Thing, you ready to go to Costco? Let's go shopping." And heterosexual men don't take me shopping. My husbands do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You said there were like 7 of them watching your house right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, 3 more quick things. You have tattoos.
Yeah.
Tell me about just like the first one you got. And then
The first one I got is a tramp stamp, but my grandchildren called it a gramp stamp.
And a tramp stamp is a tattoo that goes across the small of your back.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's a butterfly.
She's laughing. Christina Barcy, our EP, is cracking up.
My first one's a butterfly with 75 under, and then there's a butterfly with 76, 77, 78, 79, and then I came out of the closet, and then the butterfly flew up to my shoulder. Oh, the butterfly flew up to my shoulder
Yeah.
at 80.
At 80.
Okay. And at 81, I decided, okay, I've had enough of being a butterfly. In order to be a butterfly, you have to give up being a caterpillar. Okay, I've given it up. I can fly now. I had to find some other meaningful thing. So I became a hummingbird.
Ah,
I have a hummingbird on my foot with
Okay.
81. Each one of my tattoos has my year
okay.
under it because I go back and get a tattoo every birthday.
year.
Every birthday.
Good for you.
And so now, fitfully so, you know, if you look on social media, I have a pet hummingbird
Yeah.
that flies and eats
I
out.
did. I saw that.
That he
yeah.
eats out of my hand. I think he knows.
Yeah.
He connects to me.
Yeah.
But
did he inspire the tattoo, or did he come afterward?
oh, he came afterwards.
Wow.
So I have made up my mind. My last tattoo, I made up my mind how long I'm going to live.
And
I tattooed it on my wrist.
let me see. 104.
104.
There you go. I'm
Yeah.
down with that.
It's sort of just a daily reminder to stay with the program,
Yeah.
to eat well. If I'm not drinking enough water, I happen to look down, did you drink water today? I drink the water.
Yeah.
It reminds me to sleep. It reminds me to keep moving.
Yes.
It reminds me to just stay healthy, have a good attitude. It's just a reminder of the things that I think will make me live as long.
Yes.
Now I got to go back because I got to get another H. I got to get 2 H's behind the 104. Because to me, it doesn't make sense to live to 104
If you're not happy and healthy.
unless you're happy and healthy.
Yes. Yes. So you have 20 and a half more years
Mhm.
of living to do.
Mhm.
So drink your water, get your rest, keep moving.
Yeah.
Don't take any drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
If I have to take a drug,
Yeah.
I will take a drug.
Like heroin.
No.
No.
Never.
No, I'm just kidding.
Don't alter yourself at all to me. If I have to take a drug, let's say that for some reason my blood pressure really zooms
Yeah.
up to,
Yeah.
you know, then I would do whatever I have to do to stay as healthy as I can.
Yeah.
But I do know one thing about me.
What?
That when I am in Los Angeles, in the midst of all the hubbub and stuff that, and not minding my business as a mother and as a grandmother, and getting in the middle of your own family drama, which I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, I do. When I'm doing that, and I'm up here, my blood pressure was 160 over 90.
Ooh.
When I'm down in Palm Springs, minding my business, living my own life, 113 over 70.
Oh, that's where we're going to keep you then. And you're going to stay there.
Yeah.
All right. Reluctantly, I'm going to move us into the Dear Laura segment of the podcast because I want to be mindful of your time.
What time
So-
is it?
11:06. Yeah.
We're all right.
I know, but we still have. Yeah.
Okay.
So this one is from Christina. It says, Dear Laura, why are women unable to talk about aging openly? I work in an industry where they are still telling me to lie about my age. How do I help others grow comfortable with aging when I'm still being told that my livelihood depends upon how young I can appear? Also, why are women of all colors obsessed, that was in all caps, with getting plastic surgery on their faces? What can we do to just age gracefully?
You can just look in the mirror and see who you see there and learn to love her. And you said something a little while ago about maturity and the
Maturing
person,
versus aging. Yeah.
Yeah, aging. This body is aging.
Yeah.
Things are changing on this body. That's aging. I'm maturing at the same time because this mind is maturing. But this body is aging. Accept it.
Yeah.
Accept everything about you. And keep yourself as healthy as you possibly can. I'm a bit obsessed with my stomach because, I'm more obsessed with my stomach than I am about my face.
Your face looks great.
But I haven't had anything done to it.
No.
I don't do anything to it. If I did, this neck wouldn't look like this. But I'm obsessed with my stomach because I know that my health depends on that. My health doesn't depend on the way my face looks. But if I got a big old stomach pushing my organs in back there, that makes me less healthy.
Yeah.
So I'm more determined to keep my stomach flat
Mm-hmm.
than I am to keep my face cute.
I love that.
Yeah.
So what about an industry that does demand that offers the prime parts and positions to youthful women and men?
You know, it's so true. Cicely Tyson, who is now 96, still
Yes.
working, never admitted her age, didn't even admit that she had a child because of that. And Obama outed her at 90, and now she accepts her age. But if you're on camera, you know, it is what it is. You're in that industry. That is what it is. You do your best to be whatever you can.
Mm-hmm.
I would certainly check my weight. To me, I would check what I eat because I want to feel as good. And then if it gets to be too much for you, move on to another industry. Move to something else.
Yeah.
But don't drive yourself nuts trying to be something that you can't. Because you can't be younger. You can feel younger. You can look younger maybe to a certain degree. But you can't be younger.
Yeah.
And if the industry is what it is that you're in, and it is, the world is obsessed with being younger. It's not just the industry. Nobody's not going to tell me that the pharmaceutical ladies don't have to really be very aware of how they look too.
Right.
I just think to be aware of how you look is be aware of how you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be worried about aging.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're not. I mean, I think what you, and I don't see you being worried about it. I see you being proactive. I see you taking care of yourself. I see you being aware of it. But I don't see you worrying about it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I went on a lovely hike last Sunday.
Yeah.
My son and I, and his wife and I mean, we went up and down in the mountains in Palm Springs to the falls. And there I was, you know, out walking all of them.
Yes. You're so great.
But I think you should.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I have a date for a newscaster down there who's my buddy. He and I, he's the, I call him the Al Roker of Palm Springs.
Okay.
He and I are going to go on Sunday because I've made up my mind every Sunday I'm going to take that hike.
That's what. Yes. Thank you. I'm gonna leave that as her answer, and I'm gonna take you to social media because I want to know where people can find you. But also, this is what put you on my radar to want to bring you in was you posted a picture of your hiking boots. And said that you were making this you were going hiking. You were going hiking. It was a very excited post, and I was like, she needs to come on the show. She really needs to bring her hiking boots and everything on the show.
Can I tell you how many people, when I said that I was going hiking,
Yeah.
this is how people think.
What?
They started giving me the warnings.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh, be careful. Oh, watch out for rattlesnakes. Oh, don't do this. Be careful. I never thought of any of those things.
Right.
Leave me alone.
Yeah. So this one is from Christina. It says, Dear Laura, why are women unable to talk about aging openly? I work in an industry where they are still telling me to lie about my age. How do I help others grow comfortable with aging when I'm still being told that my livelihood depends upon how young I can appear? Also, why are women of all colors obsessed, that was in all caps, with getting plastic surgery on their faces? What can we do to just age gracefully?
You can just look in the mirror and see who you see there and learn to love her. And you said something a little while ago about maturity and
Maturing versus aging. Yeah.
Aging. This body is aging.
Yeah.
Things are changing on this body. That's aging. I'm maturing at the same time because this mind is maturing. But this body is aging. Accept it.
Yeah.
Accept everything about you. and keep yourself as healthy as you possibly can. I'm a bit obsessed with my stomach because, I'm more obsessed with my stomach than I am about my face.
Your face looks great.
But I haven't had anything done to it.
No.
I don't do anything to it. If I did, this neck wouldn't look like this. Uh, I'm obsessed with my stomach because I know that my health depends on that. My health doesn't depend on the way my face looks. But if I got a big old stomach pushing my organs in back there, that makes me less healthy.
Yeah.
So I'm more determined to keep my stomach flat than I am to keep my face cute.
I love that.
Yeah.
So what about an industry that does demand that offers the prime parts and positions to youthful women and men?
You know, it's so true. Cicely Tyson, who is now 96, still
Yes.
working, never admitted her age, didn't even admit that she had a child because of that. And Obama outed her at 90, and now she accepts her age. But if you're on camera, you know, it is what it is. You're in that industry. That is what it is. You do your best to be whatever you can. I would certainly check my weight. To me, I would check what I eat because I want to feel as good. And then if it gets to be too much for you, move on to another industry. Move to something else.
Yeah.
But don't drive yourself nuts trying to be something that you can't, because you can't be younger. You can feel younger, you can look younger maybe to a certain degree, but you can't be younger.
Yeah.
And if the industry is what it is that you're in, and it is, the world is obsessed with being younger. It's not just the industry. Nobody's not going to tell me that the pharmaceutical ladies don't have to really be very aware of how they look too.
Right.
I just think to be aware of how you look is be aware of how you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be worried about aging.
Well, you're not. I mean, I think I don't see you being worried about it. I see you being proactive. I see you taking care of yourself. I see you being aware of it. But I don't see you worrying about it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I went on a lovely hike last Sunday.
Yeah.
My son and I, and his wife and I mean, we went up and down in the mountains in Palm Springs to the falls. And there I was, you know, out walking all of them.
Yeah. You're so great.
But I think you should.
Yeah.
And I have a date for a newscaster down there who's my buddy. He and I, he's I call him the Al Roker of Palm Springs.
Okay.
He and I are going to go on Sunday because I've made up my mind every Sunday I'm going to take that hike.
That's what. Yes. Thank you. I'm gonna leave that as her answer, and I'm gonna take you to social media because I want to know where people can find you. But also, this is what put you on my radar to want to bring you in. Was you posted a picture of your hiking boots and said you were making this. You were going hiking. You were going hiking. It was a very excited post, and I was like, she needs to come on the show. She really needs to bring her hiking boots and everything on the show.
Can I tell you how many people, when I said that I was going hiking,
Yeah.
this is how people think.
What?
They started giving me the warnings.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, be careful. Oh, watch out for rattlesnakes. Oh, don't do this. Be careful. I never thought of any of those things.
Right.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
You worry about those things yourself. If you want to worry about those things, go ahead.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take care of me. Of course I'm going to look out for me and look out for everything.
You always have.
Always have.
Yeah.
So instead of
Lifting you up. And
enjoy your hike, enjoy the mountains, enjoy the sunny day, enjoy walking with your son.
Right. Yeah. Well, you have over 20,000 followers on Instagram, which is pretty unique and amazing
For my age.
For someone, for someone your age. So, tell me where people can find your Instagram if they want to follow you.
I think I'm Dolores, Dolores.
Yes, I spelled it wrong the first time.
Not D-E.
Yeah. Dolores.
Dolores. Robin. No. Dolores 4136.
That's what it is. Yeah, because I had a hard time finding you when I went back to look for you. 4136. Okay. And, oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I got.
And you're Dolores Robinson on Facebook? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So people can find you Dolores 4136 on Instagram or Dolores Robinson on Facebook. And then what's next for you? You're writing a book, right?
Yeah, I'm writing because of all these things that I just kind of stumbled into because my life is the way it is, and because people like you are interested in talking to people like me. It makes me think I have something to say. So thank you.
Yes.
Because it's encouraging.
Yeah, you do.
For me that you want me here talking to you. It's encouraging to me.
Yeah.
But I have stories to tell, but I'm also the biggest procrastinator in the world. I went to Palm Springs so I could sit down and get away and write a book and blah blah blah. I'm doing it. It's all pulling together, but I'm also a memory hoarder. I have a problem. I could go to a Hoarders Anonymous group, raise my hand, say, "Hi, I'm Dolores. I'm a hoarder." I love my life and I love the memories of my life. If I've experienced something, there's something about me that wants to hold on to it. I mean, stupid things like a cup, straw.
Oh.
There's something
like nostalgia?
Yeah, I get very nostalgic and pleased.
Memorabilia?
When I see that, whatever it is, it brings back a memory. I love the memories.
You keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I need to stop beating this couch. Now I'm just throwing away the memories or organizing the memories, putting them down. I have a gigantic bulletin board where I have Penland Life, Next Life, junior high, blah, and I'm putting it all in order now.
Well, I think we can talk off camera. After the podcast, we do have cameras. About some tips I have for writing.
Oh, good. Please.
Yeah, no, so I'll give those to you and see if they're useful to you. And like I said, reluctantly, I'm going to say goodbye and thank you so much. I'm so thrilled that you came out. This was exactly what I'd hoped it would be.
I'm so thrilled that you asked me.
Yeah.
And you're very good.
Well, thank you, Dolores.
Because you know how to keep people under control.
Yeah.
Because I would be talking and talking and talking. You're very good.
You were very good. You were very aware, and you let me move you from subject to subject. So I appreciate that.
I appreciate being here. I really do.
Yeah.
I really do. So thank you.
Thank you.
Bring me back again. I'll talk more.
I will.
Oh, we're gonna, yeah.